My lover passed in my arms after my husband's brutal revenge, who waited for the perfect moment to destroy us both and turn my life into a punishment I could never escape. I need to tell you about my marriage before you can understand how I destroyed everything. Lucas was a watchmaker. Not the kind who works at a mall kiosk replacing batteries, a real craftsman. He restored antique timepieces for collectors and museums. People would ship him broken Patek Philips and vintage Omegas from across the country. He'd spend weeks on a single piece, hunched over his workbench with those ridiculous magnifying glasses, tweezers moving with surgical precision. Our house reflected that precision. Everything had its place. Coffee mugs faced the same direction in the cabinet. Books organized by height and color. The thermostat never moved from 68 degrees. Even our arguments, the few we had, felt choreographed. We'd disagree about something minor, discuss it calmly, reach a compromise, move on. No raised voices. No slammed doors. No fire. I'm an art restoration specialist. I worked with paintings, mostly, cleaning centuries of grime off Renaissance portraits, repairing tears in canvas, matching pigments that hadn't been manufactured since the 1600s. It's intimate work. You spend months with these pieces, learning every brushstroke, understanding the artist's hand. Lucas and I should have understood each other. We both worked with broken, beautiful things. We both valued patience and precision. But precision isn't passion. And patience isn't the same as giving a damn. We'd been married for 7 years when I met Co. 7 years of pleasant dinners and separate hobbies and love making scheduled around Lucas's optimal sleep cycle. 7 years of feeling like another piece in his collection, well maintained, rarely touched, perfectly preserved. I met Co because of a broken record player. My grandmother had left me this vintage turntable from the 70s, and I'd been meaning to get it fixed for months. Someone at work mentioned this shop across town that specialized in vintage audio equipment. I went on a Tuesday afternoon, my day off. The shop was chaos. Beautiful chaos. Vinyl records stacked in corners, speaker components scattered across workbenches, the smell of solder and old wood. Music playing from somewhere deep in the back, something jazzy and warm. Co emerged from a back room wearing an oil-stained t-shirt, wiping his hands on a rag. He was maybe 6 years older than me, with gray threading through his dark hair and laugh lines around his eyes that suggested he actually used them. "You must be the turntable," he said, grinning. I blinked. "What? Called earlier about a Technics SL 1200? I'm hoping you're the turntable and not the dishwasher, because I don't fix those." I laughed. When was the last time I'd laughed? We spent an hour talking while he examined my grandmother's record player. He asked about her music taste, told me stories about tracking down rare pressings for collectors, showed me his own collection. He touched the equipment like Lucas touched his watches, with care, but there was joy in it. Excitement. "Your husband doesn't mind you hauling this thing around?" he asked, nodding at the turntable. "He probably hasn't noticed it's gone," I said. The truth slipped out before I could stop it. Co looked up from the tone arm he was adjusting. Our eyes met. Something shifted in the air. I started finding reasons to visit the shop. Picking up the turntable took 3 trips. He kept discovering new issues that needed fixing. Then I needed advice on building a vinyl collection. Then I just went. We talked for hours. About music, about art, about anything except our real lives. He told me about his failed marriage, his heart condition that forced him to slow down, his dream of opening a second location someday. I told him about restoration work, about the satisfaction of bringing something beautiful back to life. I didn't tell him I was dying inside my perfect house with my perfect husband, but he knew. I could see it in how he looked at me. It was 6 weeks before anything happened. 6 weeks of conversations and coffee and carefully maintained boundaries. We were in his back room, surrounded by vintage speakers and scattered records. He'd just shown me this rare Miles Davis pressing he'd found at an estate sale. "You should take it," he said. "Consider it payment for putting up with my rambling." "I like your rambling." Yeah. We were standing close. Too close. The space between us felt electric. "Laura," he said quietly. "If you don't want this, you should leave now." I kissed him. It wasn't soft or hesitant. It was 7 years of hunger finally breaking through. His hands were in my hair, my back against the workbench, and for the first time in years I felt alive. When we finally pulled apart, I was breathing hard. He touched my face gently. "You know this changes everything," he said. I nodded. I made my choice that night. I just didn't know I was choosing my own execution. 6 months, that's how long I managed to live 2 completely different lives before Lucas found out. The affair with Co wasn't just lovemaking, though that part was intense in ways I'd forgotten were possible. It was the stolen afternoons in cheap hotels where we'd talk for hours. The way he'd text me photos of random records he thought I'd like. How he'd remember I took my coffee with oat milk, not regular, Because I'd mentioned it once in passing. Lucas couldn't remember my coffee order and we'd been married 7 years. I became excellent at lying. My restoration project suddenly required extended lab time and off-site consultations. I bought a second phone for Co, kept it in my work bag. Created elaborate schedules in my head, home by 6:30 on weekdays, always available Sunday mornings because that's when Lucas worked on his most delicate pieces. Co never pushed for more. He had his own damage, his own reasons for keeping things compartmentalized. His ex-wife had cleaned him out in their divorce. His heart condition meant he took a handful of pills every morning, beta blockers, blood thinners, something else I could never remember. He'd joke that he was held together by pharmaceuticals and vinyl. I'd watch him sort his medication into those daily pill organizers and feel this twisted gratitude that he was as broken as I was. The thing about living a double life is you start believing your own performance. I'd come home to Lucas and slip back into the role of dutiful wife so seamlessly that I convinced myself I was managing everything. Lucas never asked questions. Never seemed suspicious. He'd show me whatever watch he was working on, I'd nod and make interested sounds, we'd eat dinner in comfortable silence. I thought I was getting away with it. I was so stupid. It was a Thursday when everything shifted. I came home around 7, later than usual because Co and I had lost track of time at this vinyl fair downtown. I was still buzzing from the afternoon, from Co's hand on my lower back as we browsed, from feeling wanted. Lucas was in his workshop. The door was open, which was unusual. He only worked with the door open when he was doing something that didn't require complete focus. He was sitting at his bench, my phone in his hands. I'd left it on the kitchen counter. I never left it on the kitchen counter. My stomach dropped so fast I thought I might vomit. Lucas. He looked up. Made eye contact. His expression hadn't changed, same calm, neutral face he always wore. He set my phone down carefully, precisely, in the exact center of his workbench. Then he picked up the watch he'd been working on and returned to it. That was it. No yelling. No who is he? No demands for explanation. Just silence. What were you doing with my phone? My voice came out steadier than I expected. Making sure it was charged, he said without looking up. The battery was at 15%. He'd seen everything. I knew he had. You don't just pick up someone's phone and not see the notifications. Co had texted me 3 times that afternoon, but Lucas didn't say a word about it. That night, he moved his things to the guest bedroom. Didn't announce it, didn't make it a statement. I just found his pillow and reading glasses missing from our bed. I waited for the confrontation that never came. Days passed. Lucas maintained his routine, breakfast at 6:45, work by 8 o'clock, home by 5:30. We existed in the same space like polite strangers. He never mentioned the phone. Never asked where I'd been. Never acknowledged that anything had changed except for where he slept. It was driving me insane. Co noticed my distraction. We were at his apartment one afternoon when I told him what happened. Maybe he doesn't care, Co suggested, but he sounded uncertain. Maybe he's relieved to have an excuse to check out. Maybe, I said, but I didn't believe it. 2 weeks later, Co started acting strange. I think someone's been in the shop, he told me over the phone. It was late, past 11. Things are moved around. My records aren't where I left them. You have like 10,000 records. How can you tell? I know my own shop, Laura. His voice had an edge I wasn't used to. Someone's been here. And I think they're following me. I felt a chill run through me, but I pushed it away. Co, you're stressed. You've been working too much. I'm not paranoid, he cut me off. Yesterday at the grocery store, I saw the same car that's been parked across from my shop. Silver sedan. When I tried to get a better look, it drove off. Lots of people drive silver sedans. Laura, you need to sleep. Take your medication and get some rest. He was quiet for a moment. Yeah. Maybe you're right. But 3 days later, he called again. Different kind of worried this time. It was 2 a.m. I was in the guest bedroom. Lucas and I had essentially swapped. He slept in our old room now. I took the guest bed. My phone buzzed and I grabbed it quickly. Someone's been in my apartment. Co's voice was shaking. They didn't take anything. They just... Laura, they rearranged my pills. Ice flooded my veins. What? My medication. I organize it every Sunday night for the week. I'm obsessive about it. I have to be, with my heart. Tonight I went to take my evening dose and they're all mixed up. Different pills in different days. Someone came into my apartment and messed with my medication. My throat felt tight. Maybe you just... I didn't mix them up. Someone... was... here. I wanted to believe him. Part of me did believe him. But the other part, the part that still wanted this to work, that still wanted Co and the affair and the escape, that part needed this to be nothing. Co, you're exhausted and paranoid and... Jesus, Laura, why won't you believe me? Because the alternative is insane, I snapped. Who would break into your apartment just to rearrange pills? He didn't answer. But we both knew who. Look, just be careful, okay? Lock your doors. Maybe get a camera or something. Yeah, he said quietly. Yeah, okay. I hung up and sat in the dark, my heart hammering. When I looked up, Lucas was standing in the doorway of the guest bedroom, just standing there. Watching me. He didn't say anything. Didn't ask who I'd been talking to. Didn't move. The light from the hallway backlit him so I couldn't see his face. But I could feel his eyes on me. Lucas? My voice cracked. He turned and walked away. I heard his bedroom door close softly. I didn't sleep the rest of that night. 3 weeks passed after the pills incident. Co-installed cameras in his shop and apartment. Changed his locks. Started parking in different spots each night. He sent me the camera footage sometimes, empty streets, nothing suspicious. But he was unraveling. I could hear it in his voice during our phone calls, see it in the way his hands shook when we met. Maybe you should talk to someone, I suggested one afternoon at his shop. A therapist or... I'm not crazy, Laura, I didn't say you were, but you think it. He turned away from me, organizing records that didn't need organizing. You think I'm paranoid? Making things up. I didn't know what I thought anymore. Lucas still hadn't confronted me. Still moved through our house like a ghost, silent and methodical. Part of me wondered if Co was right to be scared. The other part, the coward part, desperately needed this to be nothing. I just want you to be safe, I said quietly. Co looked at me then, really looked at me. If something happens to me, Laura, you need to know it wasn't an accident. Promise me you'll remember that. Nothing's going to happen. Promise me. I promise. I wish I'd understood what he was really asking. The call came on a Tuesday night. I was in the kitchen pretending to read while Lucas worked in his shop. My burner phone buzzed, Co's name on the screen. Someone's here. His voice was barely a whisper. I'm at the shop. I heard the back door. Laura, someone's inside. My blood turned to ice. Get out. Right now. Go outside and call the police. I can hear them moving around. They're in the front room. I'm in the back office but, he stopped talking. I heard something in the background. A creak. Footsteps. Co, I have to go, he breathed. The line went dead. I grabbed my regular phone, my keys, didn't even think. Just ran to my car and drove. The shop was 20 minutes away but I made it in 13, running red lights, my mind screaming that I should call the police but knowing, that would raise questions I couldn't answer. The front door was unlocked. I pushed it open. Co? The shop was dark except for a single lamp near the register. Vinyl records were scattered across the floor like someone had swept them off the shelves in a hurry. The music that always played was silent. Co? My voice cracked. I moved toward the back office, my shoes crunching on broken jewel cases. The door was ajar. Light spilled from inside. He was tied to his desk chair. Not with rope, with the aux cables he used for testing equipment. Professional knots. Precise. His head was slumped forward, chin against his chest. He wasn't moving. No. No. I rushed forward, touched his face. Cold. His lips were blue. No blood. No signs of violence. Just gone. On the desk next to him, arranged in a perfect line, his pill bottles. 6 of them. All open. All empty. I grabbed one with shaking hands. The label read beta blockers, he took 2 every morning. I opened it. Inside were white tablets that looked wrong. Too smooth. Too uniform. I grabbed another bottle. Same thing. And another. Someone had replaced all his medication. Every single pill. Co had been taking placebos for weeks, maybe longer. His heart condition, left untreated, combined with the stress, the fear, the anxiety. My legs gave out. I sank to the floor next to his body. Lucas did this. There was no question in my mind. The precision. The patience. The way Co's cameras wouldn't have caught anything because nothing violent happened. Just a man taking his daily medication that wasn't medication at all. Just slow, calculated MRDR disguised as natural causes. I don't know how long I sat there. Could have been minutes. Could have been an hour. My phone buzzed. A text from Lucas, working late. Don't wait up. Something snapped inside me. I stood up and started moving. Wiped down everything I'd touched with my shirt sleeve. The doorknob. The desk. Co's face where my fingers had been. I worked methodically, carefully, thinking like Lucas would think. I pulled out my regular phone and dialed 911, kept my voice shaking but controlled. I think there's someone dead. The vinyl shop on Morrison Street. I was walking by and saw the door open and, I gave them the address and hung up before they could ask my name. I left through the back door, wiping the handle as I went. During the drive home, something crystallized in my mind. It wasn't grief. It wasn't fear. It was rage so pure and cold it felt like Lucas's silence. If Lucas could destroy someone and make it look like natural causes, so could I. I'd frame him. I'd be smarter this time. More careful. I'd plant evidence in his workshop, create a timeline, make sure the police found what they needed to find. Qley had told me to remember it wasn't an accident. I'd make sure everyone knew that. I pulled into our driveway at 11:11 p.m. Lucas's car was already there despite his text. The workshop light was on. I walked inside, my hands steady for the first time in hours. I'd underestimated Lucas once. I wouldn't make that mistake twice. Except I already had. I needed help. The realization hit me 2 days after Qley's death. The news reported it as a tragedy, local shop owner, heart condition, found by anonymous caller. No mention of foul play. The medical examiner would rule it natural causes because that's exactly what it looked like. That's what made Lucas so dangerous. And why I needed someone else involved. Nolan worked in the conservation lab at the museum where I'd done contract work. We'd had a thing years ago, brief, meaningless, before Lucas. He'd gotten sloppy drunk at a colleague's wedding and told me things he shouldn't have, about forging provenance documents for a dealer, about his gambling debts. I'd kept his secret. He owed me. I called him from a coffee shop 3 blocks from my house. I need a favor, I said. The kind you can't ask questions about. His pause told me he understood. When? Friday night. I'll text you the address. Laura. You owe me, Nolan. Or do I need to remind you about the Caravaggio incident? Another pause. Friday. What do you need? I laid it out. Simple plan. He'd break into Lucas's workshop while I kept watch from the house. Plant evidence, hair samples I'd taken from Qley's shop before leaving, fabric fibers, a forged note on Lucas's stationery that I'd practiced writing for days. Create a timeline that showed Lucas had been planning this. That's it? Nolan sounded skeptical. Just plant some stuff and leave? Lucas is meticulous. Even small inconsistencies will make police look harder. Once they start digging, they'll find the rest. What rest? I had no idea. But I sold it with confidence. Friday came. Lucas left for an estate sale at 6 p.m. He'd mentioned it that morning, one of the few words we'd exchanged all week. Said he'd be gone until at least 10. Nolan arrived at 8:30. I'd left the workshop side door unlocked earlier. You're sure he's gone? Nolan asked. Positive. You have 20 minutes. Get in, place everything exactly where I told you, get out. He nodded and disappeared around the side of the house. I stood in the kitchen, watching the driveway through the window. My heart was hammering but my hands were steady. This would work. It had to work. 15 minutes passed. Nolan should have been done by now. Then I saw headlights. Lucas's car pulled into the driveway. But he wasn't alone, there was another car behind him. Unmarked sedan. My stomach dropped. I ran to the side door but before I could shout a warning, I heard Nolan's voice. What the F? Then Lucas's calm reply. Right there, detective. Just like I told you. I burst through the door into the workshop. The lights were blazing. Nolan stood frozen in the center of the room, Qley's hair samples still in his gloved hand. Lucas stood near the workbench. Next to him was a man in a suit holding a badge. Laura. Lucas looked at me with those empty eyes. Perfect timing. Nolan's face went white. You said he'd be gone. Hands where I can see them, the detective ordered. But Nolan wasn't looking at the detective. He was looking at me with pure betrayal, and his hand was moving to his jacket. Gun, someone shouted. I didn't even see Nolan pull it. Didn't know he had one. The detective's weapon was already out and the sound of gunfire in that small workshop was deafening. Nolan crumpled. I screamed. Or thought I did. My ears were ringing so loud I couldn't hear my own voice. More police appeared from nowhere, they'd been waiting outside. Someone grabbed my arms, yanked them behind my back. Handcuffs bit into my wrists. Laura Westfield, you're under arrest for conspiracy to tamper with evidence in a criminal investigation. The words kept coming but I wasn't listening. I was watching Lucas over the detective's shoulder as they dragged me toward the door. He was standing in the same spot, hands in his pockets, watching me with that same expression he'd had when he found my phone. Calm. Patient. Victorious. In the back of the police car, I couldn't stop shaking. Through the window I saw crime scene tape going up around my own house. Saw them photographing Nolan's body being loaded into the coroner's van. At the station, they put me in an interview room. 2 detectives, the one from the house and a woman with cold eyes. Your husband came to us 4 days ago, the woman said. Told us about your affair with Harrison. About how Harrison died suddenly. About how he suspected you'd try to plant evidence to frame him. My mouth went dry. We've been monitoring you since then. Phone records from a burner cell registered to a fake name, Sloppy, by the way. Your DNA at Harrison's shop, which you failed to fully clean. And tonight, caught in the act of evidence tampering with an accomplice who's now dead. Lucas destroyed Co, I said. My voice sounded far away. He replaced his medication. The medical examiner found no evidence of foul play. Co Harrison died of cardiac arrest related to his pre-existing condition. His medication was tested, all legitimate. That's impossible. I saw the pills. You broke into a crime scene and contaminated evidence. Then attempted to frame your husband for a crime that didn't happen. They kept talking, but their words became noise. Lucas had thought of everything. Every step I'd taken, he'd predicted. No, worse than that. He'd orchestrated. My lawyer showed up around 2 a.m. Public defender, looked about 12 years old. He laid it out: conspiracy to tamper with evidence, obstruction of justice, possible accessory after the fact to Harrison's death if they can prove you had knowledge of any wrongdoing. Your accomplice pulled a weapon on police, so that's not helping. Best case scenario? 2 years. I started laughing. Not because anything was funny, but because I finally understood. Lucas didn't want me in the ground next to Co. He wanted me alive. Watching. Suffering. What about Co's MRDR? I asked through my hysterical laughter. My lawyer looked confused. What MRDR? The medical examiner ruled it natural causes. There is no MRDR case. The laughter died in my throat. The plea deal was 2 years at Cedar Ridge, medium security women's facility 2 hours upstate. My lawyer called it a win. I fired him the next day. Not that it mattered. The first 3 months were the worst. Not because of the conditions. Cedar Ridge was overcrowded and underfunded, but not brutal. It was the noise. Constant voices, slamming doors, guards shouting count times. After years of Lucas's silence, the chaos made my skin crawl. I kept to myself. Ate alone. Worked my assigned job in the laundry room without speaking to anyone. Other inmates left me alone mostly. I was just another white-collar criminal who'd messed up her life. At night, I'd lie in my bunk and replay everything, looking for the moment I could have changed course. The first kiss with Co. The day Lucas found my phone. The night I decided to frame him. But the answer was always the same. I'd lost control the moment I thought I had any. I wrote Lucas one letter. Just one. Asked him why he didn't just divorce me. Why he had to destroy everything. He never responded. Month 6, everything fell apart. Her name was Shayna. She ran her block like a fiefdom: drugs, gambling, protection. I'd avoided her successfully until the day I accidentally took her seat in the day room. You deaf or just stupid? She said. I stood up immediately. Sorry. Didn't know. Should have ended there. Would have, if I'd just kept walking. But something in her tone, that casual dominance, the expectation that I'd submit, it reminded me of Lucas. That quiet certainty that he'd already won. Yeah, you didn't know a lot of things, did you? Shayna smiled. Like not to F around on your husband. Like not to get caught. Like not to sit in my chair. The other women were watching now. Waiting. I said I was sorry. Sorry doesn't mean crap in here, sweetness. She moved fast. Shoved me hard enough that I stumbled into a table. My survival instinct, dormant for months, kicked in. I swung back. Big mistake. Shayna had friends. 3 of them joined in before the guards could intervene. I got in a few hits, but mostly I just tried to protect my face and failed. The medical wing stitched up my split lip and treated my cracked ribs. But my left eye, something had ruptured. Detached retina, the doctor said. They'd have to transport me to a real hospital for surgery. 2 surgeries later, they told me the vision wasn't coming back. I looked at myself in the hospital bathroom mirror. Left side of my face purple and swollen. I covered with a patch that I'd wear for weeks, then replace with glasses with one blackened lens because the cosmetic damage was permanent. I looked like exactly what I was, destroyed. The psychological evaluation after the fight was mandatory. Dr. Reeves, prison therapist, late 50s with tired eyes. Tell me what happened, she said. I sat in the wrong chair. That's not what I mean. I knew what she meant. We had 12 sessions. She chipped away at my defenses with the patience of someone who'd heard every story, every justification. You're not special, Laura, she said during our 8th session. You're not the first woman to have an affair. Not the first to think you were smarter than you were. The difference is you're here and you have to decide what that means. It means my husband set me up. Did he force you to cheat? Force you to try to frame him? Force you to involve Nolan? He destroyed Co. There's no evidence of that. But there's plenty of evidence of what you did. I wanted to hate her. But she was right. I wasn't special. I was just arrogant. I'd thought I could have everything: security with Lucas, passion with Co, consequences for neither. I'd thought Lucas's silence meant he was weak. Some people don't fight back. They wait. They watch. They let you destroy yourself. The rest of my sentence I spent learning to live small. Kept my head down. Took whatever crap job they assigned me. Attended therapy because it looked good for parole. Learned to navigate with one eye, to live with the constant dull ache where my vision used to be. My family, what little I had, stopped visiting after month 8. My sister sent one letter: "You did this to yourself. Don't contact me again." I didn't. Release day came on a Tuesday morning. No one was there to pick me up. No one called. I walked out the gate with a plastic bag of belongings and a check for $87, my saved commissary money. The bus dropped me at the station downtown. I hadn't been in the city for 2 years. Everything looked the same and completely different. I found a shelter that night. Got a job washing dishes at a diner 2 days later. Started rebuilding from absolute zero. It took me 3 weeks to work up the courage to search Lucas's name on the library computer. The first result was a local news article dated 6 months ago. Local watchmaker honors late friend's legacy, reopens beloved vinyl shop. My hands trembled as I clicked. There was a photo. Lucas standing in Co's shop, except it wasn't Co's shop anymore. The sign outside read secondhand, first listen. The interior had been renovated. Updated. Made beautiful. Lucas stood behind the counter in the image, holding a vintage record. Next to him, smiling at the camera, a woman I recognized from Co's funeral photos on his Facebook. Elena. Co's younger sister. The article gushed about Lucas's dedication to preserving his late friend's legacy. About how he'd bought the shop from Co's estate. About how he and Elena had worked together to reopen it. About their recent engagement. There was a quote from Lucas: "Co was like a brother to me. This shop was his dream, and I want to make sure that dream lives on." Elena and I are honored to carry forward his passion for music and community. I stared at the screen until the words blurred. He'd taken everything. Not just Co's life. Not just my freedom. He'd taken Co's entire existence and made it his own. The shop. The sister. The legacy, and everyone loved him for it. The librarian touched my shoulder. "Miss? Are you alright?" I wasn't. I would never be alright again. I found the shop 3 days later. Second hand, first listen. 1833 Morrison Street. The same building where I'd found Co's body, but transformed. New awning, fresh paint, tasteful signage. Through the window I could see the interior had been gutted and redesigned. Exposed brick, modern lighting, organized shelves instead of Co's beautiful chaos. It was 2 p.m. on a Saturday. The shop was busy. I stood across the street for an hour, just watching. Lucas moved through the space with the same precision he brought to everything. Helping customers, handling vinyl with careful hands, making recommendations. He wore a casual button-down instead of his usual work clothes. Looked comfortable. Happy. Elena was there too. Late 20s, dark hair like her brother's, Co's same warm smile. She worked the register, laughed at something a customer said, touched Lucas's arm as he passed. The gesture was familiar. Intimate. They'd built a life on Co's grave and no one knew. No one suspected. I should have walked away. Should have caught the bus back to my studio apartment with its peeling wallpaper and cockroaches. Should have accepted that this part of my life was over. Instead, I crossed the street. The bell chimed as I opened the door. A few customers glanced up, then away. I was nobody to them, just another person browsing. But Lucas looked up from the record he was examining with a customer, and our eyes met. He smiled. Small. Knowing. Then he returned to his customer as if I didn't exist. I walked deeper into the shop, my one good eye taking in every detail. Co's favorite Miles Davis poster was gone. The workbench where he'd kissed me for the first time had been replaced with a listening station. Even the smell was different, less solder and dust, more new wood and expensive coffee from the machine near the register. Co had been erased. Replaced with something cleaner. Better. Can I help you find something? Elena appeared beside me, all customer service warmth. She didn't recognize me. Why would she? We'd never met. I was just another casualty of her brother's death, except she didn't know I was the reason he'd died. Just browsing, I managed. Let me know if you need anything. We've got new arrivals in the jazz section if you're interested. She walked away. I stood there among the records and the customers and the soft music playing from overhead speakers, and I realized, I could tell her. Right now. Could explain that Lucas destroyed her brother. That this entire shop, this entire relationship, was built on MRDR, but she wouldn't believe me. No one would. I was a convicted criminal with a scarred face and a dead accomplice. Lucas was the beloved local businessman who'd honored his friend's memory. I looked back at Lucas. He was watching me now, customer gone. Still smiling that small smile. I understood then. He'd known I'd come. Probably hoped for it. This was part of my punishment, seeing what he'd built from the ashes of everything I'd destroyed. He gave me a small nod. Not greeting. Acknowledgement. Like you'd nod at a stranger who held a door open. Then he turned away and I ceased to exist. I left without buying anything. That was 8 months ago. I'm 36 years old now. I live in a 300 square foot studio in the cheapest part of town. Work 3 jobs, dishwasher, night janitor, weekend retail. My felony record bars me from restoration work. Museums won't touch me. Galleries won't return my calls. I wear glasses with one blackened lens. The scars on my face have faded to pale lines, but they're still visible. People don't make eye contact with me anymore. I'm invisible in a different way than I was in my marriage to Lucas. Back then I was preserved, displayed. Now I'm just nothing. I looked up Lucas and Elena's engagement announcement last week. They're getting married next spring. The article mentions they're expanding the shop, possibly opening a second location. Lucas is quoted saying Co would have been proud. I write this now because I need to understand when exactly I lost control of my life. Was it the first kiss with Co? 7 years of hunger finally breaking through? Was it when I saw Lucas with my phone and didn't run? Was it when I dismissed Co's fears as paranoia instead of recognizing Lucas's silent hunt? Or was it the moment I mistook silence for surrender? Because that's what I got wrong. I thought Lucas's quiet meant he'd given up. That his lack of confrontation meant he didn't care enough to fight. But some people don't scream when they're angry. They don't throw dishes or make threats or file for divorce. They watch. They wait. They let you destroy yourself and everyone you touch, then they step into the wreckage and build something better from the pieces. Co died because I brought Lucas's wrath into his life. Nolan died because I involved him in my desperate scheme to frame an innocent man. I lost my career, my dignity, my entire future. And Lucas? He's happy. Successful. Loved. About to marry his dead friend's sister in the shop that dead friend built. He didn't just win. He turned me into a cautionary tale that breathes. If you're reading this and you think you're smarter than your partner, you're probably not. If you think silence means they don't care, you're wrong. If you think you can cheat and manipulate and calculate your way out of consequences, you can't. Some people don't fight back. They architect your destruction and hand you the tools. They make you believe you're getting away with it right up until the moment you realize you've been digging your own grave. I'm 36 years old, and my life ended at 32. I just didn't know it until it was too late. Lucas never screamed. Never fought. He just waited, watched me destroy myself and everyone I touched. The silence I mistook for weakness was actually patience. The calm I interpreted as apathy was calculation. I thought I was waking up when I met Co. I thought I was taking control of my life, but I was already dead. I just hadn't stopped moving yet. That's what Lucas understood that I didn't. You don't have to destroy someone to destroy them. You just have to let them destroy themselves, then make sure they live long enough to understand what they've lost. I am his masterpiece. His greatest work of precision and patience, a living monument to the cost of underestimating silence. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you really like our videos, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day.